Alright, here we go. Latin 3.1 of Book 5, Seneca Natural Questions. This to be false, even, you can gather from this. So that was that theory of Demetrius, or whoever the guy was. Licit means you can, also takes the infinitive. So you're able to gather from this that it's false. Here's a because. Then the wind is minimal, you might want to say. There's not much wind when the air is gravis, or heavy with cloud. And yet, atque, then there are many bodies which have contouranted themselves, which have brought themselves into this narrow, thin area. And then, inde, there is a gravity, dense mass, or however you want to call that, of thick clouds. 3.2. At ice. Add, now, quad, that, around rivers and fourth declension lakes, there's a frequent nebula, or mist, or something, and, get rid of that square, these are ablatives, and in artatis and congested bodies, okay, so in tightly and congested means thick together bodies, okay. Nevertheless, there's not a wind. So, we've got these lakes and rivers, the nebula, which can be clouds or mist, but, or indeed, or truly, into them from time to time, such caligo is a synonym with nebula, it means another clouds or something that are funded or poured out. They're so thick that the sight of things standing in that vicinity snatched away. So it becomes so dense with cloud at these low levels where there's lakes and rivers, probably from mist, etc., I guess, that conspect and things that you can see, even though you're up close in the vicinity, you can't see them. Which would not evenerate, it wouldn't happen unless into a small place many bodies compel themselves or push in on themselves. Most of what he's saying is nonsense, but anyway, it's nice Latin. Atque, and yet, at no time, when it's nebulosum, when it's cloudy, magus quam, more is it lacking wind. So, during this time when it's cloudy, it's there's still lacking a wind, so this gets rid of the theory that clouds cause wind. 3.3. Add now that, on the contrary, what happens as the sun, matutinum in the morning, in the morning, there's air which is thick and wet. The sun, with its own rising, it attenuates or makes thin. So the early morning sun makes thin, thick air when it arises. Then a breeze surges. When they're datomes, when there's given to bodies, laxative, a loosening thing of these bodies, so that I don't know if it's saying whether the sunlight or the heat from the sun, and the stipario, and this packing together of them, and their crowding, it's all resolved and loosened again. 4.1. Quo modo ergo? So how is it then, in Quaestiones, that winds happen? Since you're denying this to happen, the theory of, I've got his name here, Democritus was the guy who was talking about, who come up with these theories. If you deny these, not in one way, alias, we've got correlatives, for the earth itself, a great force of air it ejects, and it spirates, it breathes it out from hidden places underground. Otherwise, in other situations, when the great and continuous evaporations from down low, are forced in autumn up in high, with the things that is emitted, that's sent out, so the earth's breathing out a lot of air and mixes it with evaporation. This mutation of halitus, that's another thing that's breathed out. I don't think it's talking about volcanoes, it's probably just talking about other caverns that send out air for some reason. When these are mixed, they are turned into wind. Okay. 4.2. For this, neither so that I can believe it, nor am I able to persuade myself, nor that I should stay silent. How, in our bodies, food becomes farts, inflatio, which not without a great injury is emitted of our nose. Great injuries of our noses by farts when they're emitted. And sometimes the ventrum, the belly, unloads itself with sounds. So sometimes there's sounds when you fart, and sometimes it's a bit secret. Thus, people think also this great nature of things, nature is emitting a mutated spirit or smell or something, or air, from its elements, from its nutrients, from its food. So it's food for humans, and so nature's in caves eating food and farting, basically. Bene, this is agated with nobiscum, with us. Well, this is thought with us because always looks like nature's always digesting something. It's conquicating something. Otherwise, we would be fearing something rather dirty. I guess the atmosphere would be turned into stench if this was so. 4.3. Numquid. Whether, ergo then, this is truer to say, many things from all parts of the world, also assiduously or continually, corpuscular, little bodies are being born about. Okay, so from all parts of the world, little bodies are being brought about, which when they coagulated, when they're heaped up, then they begin to extenuate, they begin to thin out again by the sun. Because all things that are in a narrow place are dilator. If your eyes are dilating, they're getting bigger. So if you put things into a small area, they grow bigger. And this is going with his theory that the sun's causing things to spread out. It desires more space. So when all these things are in a little area and they get bigger, they desire more space, and a wind exists or begins because of this process. Okay, Daily Dictionary. Dilato. With time it means to prolong. With other things like eyes it means wide, broaden, expand, dilate. Sometimes it means flatten and roll out as well. 5.1. So what then? This to be the sole cause of wind, I think. Evaporations of water on the earth are causing the wind. From these, the gravity of air, the weight of air, the wind happens. Don't know why that thing is there, but anyway, that this is all loosened by force. When things are standing which are dense, that this is necessary to happen, that the extenuated, the thinned out airs and forces, they strive together to go into a more amplier room, a bigger room or space. Looks like truly I judge this to be. But this is by far is a more valiant or stronger and truer thing that air to have or has a natural force of moving itself, and neither from some other place does it conceive this force, but it is in it, in esse. It's inside it, as are other things, and thus this power is of moving things. It may be one of its natures that's actually inside of it. 5.2. Or do you think this, or whether you think this, that to us indeed are given strengths by which we're able to move ourselves. However, the air is left inert and inagitable, unmovable. When with water, it has its own motion, and even in a quiet wind, the water moves. For neither differently, I guess it's nature or water produces animals or things having some sort of not soul, but something that moves it. Moss also is an ascide in water. It's born in water, and we see certain herbosa things inanting, floating on the summit of the water, on the top of the water. So therefore there is something vital or life-giving in water. That'll do for the day.